The topic now we are going to discuss is about transmission electron microscope. So why we go for microscope? To visualize the elements which are in micrometer thickness, micrometer in dimension, or visualized using these microscopes. And those microscopes, whenever use electrons to make the visualization, they are coming under electron microscopes. So now we are going to say about transmission electron microscope, and all the electron microscopes are working based on the wavelength of the electron, a wavelength of the electron present over there. So the wavelength of the electron has been calculated using the formula lambda is equal to h by root of 2 mqv, what you have already studied in our plus 2. H is the Planck's constant, m is the mass of the electron, q is the charge of the electron, v is the potential difference to accelerate electrons. Because whenever we use microscopes, we have to use electron gun. From the electron gun, a bunch of electrons will came out, and those electrons will have their own force within them, and so a potential difference has been arised within those electrons to accelerate themselves. So this is the main criteria to see with the electron microscopes. And this is the view of transmission electron microscope. In former days they have used just visualized through eyes, visualized through lens with the naked eye, but nowadays everything is automated and knobs are all present, and a system has been incorporated to do everything in automated manner. So next we have to see why we have, what are the things we are seeing with the transmission electron microscope. So using transmission electron microscope, we can see the morphology of the sample, crystalline structure of the sample, and composition of the sample. Over the morphology of the sample, we can see what is the shape, size, and order of the particles present inside the sample. And with the crystalline structure, we can see the arrangement of atoms inside the sample and defects in the crystalline structure. With the composition of transmission electron with the transmission electron microscope, we can also detect compositions of the sample. From this we can tell the atomic level particle can also be viewed using transmission electron microscope. And the transmission electron microscope arrangement is like this only. So where a high voltage has been applied to activate the electron gun, from electron gun a bunch of electrons will come out, and it has to pass through first condenser lens where the beams are straightened towards the destination, and the condenser aperture is there. Over the condenser aperture, adjustment knobs will be present, and with these adjustment knobs we can change the strength of the signal, that is frequency or wavelength of the beam passing over there. And then second condenser lens will be present. Over the second condenser lens also we are straightening the path, there is avoiding the deflection present over there with the electrons moving on. And then condenser aperture and specimen holder and airlock will be there. Airlock, to make there a vacuum, we are having airlock, and a specimen holder is there. Over the specimen holder only we will place the sample to which is to be detected. And after that, objective lenses and aperture will be there. Objective lens gives you the focal length for the sample, focal length to detect the sample, and aperture is present to visualize the sample with a correct sharp edges, there is contrast. Then electron beam came out of that aperture to impinge over the fluorescent screen where a camera is placed to capture the image. So this is the process present with the transmission electron microscope, in which the electron beam is made to strike the sample and is transmitted through the sample. So over the sample, scattering may occur, and unscattered electrons pass through sample and are detected over the fluorescent screen. This is the operation with the construction and operation with the transmission electron microscope. And so here we have taken the transmission electron microscope structure, internal structure, where electron gun with anode arrangement, conductor lens, specimen, objective aperture lens, intermediate lens, projector lens, and fluorescence screen has been arranged in this manner. And this circular knob, they are given in circular manner because they are having the knobs. Using the knobs we can adjust the amplitude of the signal, intensity of the signal, everything we can adjust using this lens and apertures. And here the crystalline sample interacts with the electron beam mostly by diffraction rather by absorption, because diffraction only considered over here. Absorption means no signal will made to flow beyond the specimen, and so diffraction has been counted here. The intensity of the diffraction depends on the orientation of the planes of atoms in a crystal related to the electron beam. A high contrast image can be formed by blocking deflected electrons, which produces a variation in the electron intensity that reveals information on the crystal structure. So because of the deflected electrons only we are having the variation, and this can generate both bright or light field and dark field images. Based on that we can find what is the amplitude, how the structure will be, and how the atomic level, orientation, molecular combination may occur. Everything can be detected with this images itself, that is its brightness, its darkness. Based on that we can detect. Then this is the transmission electron microscopy picture, and over that the sample will be placed using sample holder. This is the copper grid sample holder through which we can place our sample over this, and we have to place it within the transmission electron microscope, and we have to make the adjustments using the knobs, and everything will be visualized over the computer monitor. And these are the images taken from transmission electron microscopy. The image of paramyxovirus, flu virus, collagen fibers, and herpes virus are given over here. And this is the TEM, transmission electron microscope image of organic material over 200 nanometer thickness and inorganic material with a 10 nanometer distance. And so we can say transmission electron microscope can be used for both organic and inorganic materials. The advantages are, with the TEM, additional analysis techniques like X-ray spectroscopy are possible, and high resolution will be there, and 3D image construction possible but aberrant. Changes in nanoparticle structure as a result of interactions with gas, liquid, and solid phase substrates can also be monitored. And the disadvantage is it's time consuming. That's the major disadvantage, and a sample preparation is necessary for this, and a sample must be able to withstand the electron beam and also the high vacuum chamber. So these are the disadvantages we have. It has to be mitigated.